TSC News here to recap WWE, not Friday Night SmackDown, not Thursday Night SmackDown, but a special Tuesday night Super D Duper SmackDown. Although I have to say, it was not very super. And for those that are watching us live right now on YouTube, I am currently simulating a 6-man over-the-top rope battle royal inside the TSC Arena, featuring all the male competitors that you get with the brand new WWE 2K16 Legends Pack, which includes the Big Boss Man, Dusty Rhodes, Mr. Perfect, you name it. We're also including a couple special custom characters in this Battle Royal, including our webmaster, Eugene T. And I'm sure he's going to be quite flattered by how I've created him in this game universe. But enough of that. We had 2 title matches on SmackDown, and the rest was just kind of, well, just kind of there. First off, we had the Tag Team Championships on the line. The New Day took on the Lucha Dragons. Pretty good match. We went back and forth. I swear to God that Sin Cara gimmick is cursed. It's cursed. Whether it's Luis Verde or Unico playing the gimmick, it is cursed because poor Sin Cara went out, did a simultaneous dive in stereo with Kalisto, and Kalisto hit his suicide dive perfectly. Or actually, I think it was a tope. I'm sorry, hit his tope. Actually, no, was it just a dive over the top rope? I think it was actually just a dive over the top rope. So anyway, they went for simultaneous dives. Kalisto, actually no, it was a suicide dive. I'm sorry, Jesus Christmas. So Kalisto hit his dive, and Sin Cara did not hit his dive. He instead got his foot caught on the rope, and in true Sin Cara fashion, no matter who plays the gimmick, he torpedoed his head onto the mat, and poor Kofi Kingston just had to sell his knee anyway. Ugh, that looked rough, but luckily he seemed okay, but I don't know if that's going to incline WWE to give the poor Lucha Dragons any more TV time, but the New Day got the win. This wasn't bad. I thought the crowd would be hotter for the New Day. They were unfortunately not, but hey, that happens. Sometimes crowds lack taste, and if you hate the New Day, man, I don't know what TV show you're watching. The New Day rocks. The New Day rocks. Remember that. In our main event, we had Dean Ambrose defend the Intercontinental Championship against Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler. Really good match. Of course, they had to use the Christmas props. They threw Kevin Owens into the Christmas tree, and there was one really, really scary spot where Dean Ambrose got suplexed on his head by Kevin Owens, and I'm thinking, oh my God. And I went completely silent for a minute because I'm thinking, man, did this guy hurt his neck? He seemed okay. He recovered. He hit the dirty deeds on Dolph Ziggler for the win. But man, that didn't look good. It looked like he was trying to protect himself, landing right on his head and neck. He might be okay, but this is pro wrestling, and if you take too many bumps like that, you could ask Randy Orton, you could ask a lot of other guys. It eventually catches up with you, but this was an awesome match. Back and forth. The Intercontinental title felt like a big deal. It was great that all 3 men got this main event slot. If you're wondering where Roman Reigns was at, well, he went to help out the Usos, who lost to the League of Nations. Of course, the Tag Team of the Year has to lose a match, or the supposed Tag Team of the Year, as voted by the Slammy voters, which I still don't understand. This match was also pretty good, but here's a couple problems. One, nobody cares about the League of Nations. They are as over as Orlando Jordan in his prime, and if you're too young to understand that reference, then exactly. Don't bother Googling Orlando Jordan. That's how over they are. They're not over at all. On top of that, Del Rio, he can't just do a normal double foot stomp, a coup de grace, whatever you want to call it, like Finn Balor does. No. He has to have his opponent stupidly, as a stupid babyface, whether it's an Uso or Jack Swagger or whoever, go to the top rope with him and try to stop him or do a superplex. And every single time this happens, insert superstars in name here, goes up top. Del Rio's perched on the top turnbuckle. Del Rio knocks him over. Their legs magically get caught in the top rope, and then Del Rio, or the middle rope, whatever, and then Del Rio hits a foot stomp, and they're done. And that's it. Man, how about some creativity here? It's just ridiculous. How about win with the super kick? How about win with the arm bar? Del Rio was an MMA fighter. He has a real legit wrestling background. He once pinned Randy Couture. But no, let's give this badass Mexican mofo who can pretty much take out anybody on the roster if he wanted to, outside of maybe Brock Lesnar. Let's give him a finishing move of a sloppy double foot stomp. Because nothing screams badass like a double foot stomp that's awkward as hell. But that's the least of Del Rio's problems, honestly, because he has no heat whatsoever. I'm really confused as to why Cena versus Del Rio is a non-title match next week on Raw with John Cena coming back. Just take the title off Del Rio. Take the title off Del Rio. Start fresh. Have him get excommunicated from the League of Nations. Have him destroy every single one of them. Turn him babyface. And make him one of your top stars. Because this guy, at least outside of WWE, looked like he could be a viable attraction. And he was for AAA. He was for Lucha Underground. And, well, didn't exactly work out for him all that well. And as we're watching this WWE 2K simulation I'm doing, here's our pal Eugene coming out. Man, he tanned a little too much. Not sure what kind of sunscreen he was using, but looking good. Looking good, Eugene. But anyway, yeah, League of Nations won. Roman Reigns came out for his save, took out Rusev, took out Del Rio, and every time he hit the Superman punch, or right before he did, he had to cock his fist. And I don't know any other way to describe him cocking his fist other than saying it was in a very, masturbatory manner. Like, I'm not trying to be perverted here. I'm just saying. You don't see Conor McGregor, cocking his fist, moving his hand up and down over his fist and wrist. You just don't see that. That's just weird. That's weird. You don't even see Batman do that. You might see Superman have the flick of the wrist, or actually I think that's Spider-Man. Maybe somebody will adjust their wrist, they'll twist it, but no, he just cocks his fist all awkwardly. It's kind of creepy if you ask me, but hey, to each their own. Roman Reigns is a Samoan badass, and when you're WWE World Heavyweight Champion and having a good couple weeks where fans are actually cheering you, you can do whatever the hell you want. Let him enjoy his holiday season. And Supaton1 points out that Dean Ambrose just got his head stapled as well, so he's had a rough couple days. That is true, yeah. He just got his head stapled on Monday Night Raw, and you can make the argument that maybe a guy that just got his head stapled and busted open perhaps shouldn't be wrestling the next night. But they cleared him. It is what it is. By the way, if you guys are watching this live or listening on iTunes or SoundCloud, we would greatly appreciate it if you would click the like button, share this with all your friends, and if you do happen to listen on iTunes for whatever reason, and we'd appreciate that too, just feel free to leave a review, because every review helps, even if it's, don't leave a bad one, because I'll find you and give you an RKO, but if you have some positive feedback and some constructive feedback, we'd greatly appreciate it. We had Charlotte defeat Brie Bella in a match that totally made the Divas division a joke. I mean, it was already a joke, but it's an even bigger joke now because we had Becky Lynch at ringside. She had eggnog thrown at her by Team B.A.D, who I call Team Sad, because Sasha Banks has been made to look like a complete joke. I have no idea what Sasha Banks was wearing. I don't know if she was dressed as a bunny or what, but it just, it did not look good whatsoever. It did not look good. That outfit, she didn't look ratchet. She looked rabbit. Was it a bunny outfit? Whatever kind of outfit it was, I posted the picture on my Twitter account. It was from the WWE Snapchat. She appeared. I couldn't believe she appeared on air as this. Here she is, a couple months removed. First ever women's main event televised in WWE history outside of Wendy Richter versus, I think, Fabulous Moolah 30-some years ago. Okay, the first women's main event. I mean, I guess, okay, Trish Stratus and Lita, but this was something that was actually hyped ahead of time. Sasha Banks and Bayley, an Iron Man match. This was a classic match, and here she is a couple months later, dressed like a doofus. Teaming up with Naomi, who is essentially the female RVD, only worse. In a sense that she's really athletic, but kind of sloppy in some spots, and she's not the worker RVD is, that's for sure. And Tamina, who might be the worst active female wrestler in the company. Ugh. No wonder she wants to go back to NXT. We had Titus O'Neil and Neville defeat the Ascension, who were accompanied by Cody Rhodes. This manifested via an awful backstage skit where Santino was looking for some ornament he had. the Ascension and Cody Rhodes, Stardust, played by Cody Rhodes, whose career's in the very, very depths of hell. They confronted Mr. Neville. They called him they confronted Santino. Then Neville came out, and they called him an elf. And I would say, man, why are they insulting Neville? Why are they making him look so bad? But he really was essentially dressed like an elf. This is where Neville is right now. He went from being the modern-day Evan Bourne, a guy who's a high flyer, who gets a push, then stops getting a push, but at least has good matches, to a guy that's now being portrayed like a winning Curtis Axel or Damien Mizdow. He's at that level now, and it is so sad to watch. I guess Darren Young's injured, so Titus O'Neil teamed with Neville. They won the match. I guess that's a good thing. At least they won. But my God, Neville is so talented. Here's a guy that just 5-6 months ago had an excellent match with John Cena for the United States Championship and technically beat him via disqualification. Here's a guy who had an incredible match, one of the best Raw matches. Well, there's been a lot of great Raw matches this year, to be fair. But, one of the better Raw matches this year and one of the better TV matches in WWE you're ever going to see against Seth Rollins for the WWE title. And now he's in a feud with The Miz, The Ascension, and Stardust. And dressing like an elf. Poor guy. Sucks to be him. As far as some of the other results, let me see if I missed anything here. Oh, like I said before, John Cena comes back next week. As far as who's winning the Royal Rumble, a lot of people have been asking me. Again, I think it's contingent on the title match. If Roman Reigns is wrestling Triple H, I think that clears things up a little bit, and it leaves it open to, say, Cena, Lesnar, maybe Undertaker, Dean Ambrose, like those four guys. If Triple H is not wrestling Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble, I hate to say it, but I can see Triple H winning that one. Could be wrong. Maybe they'll do Triple H versus Roman Reigns at Fastlane, which might work. You could do Triple H versus Roman Reigns at Fastlane, even though I think that's a big main event for a B pay-per-view. Honestly, Fastlane's kind of like a C pay-per-view. I mean, it has no name value whatsoever, but you could do Triple H versus Roman Reigns there. Have Roman Reigns get a huge win leading up to WrestleMania, get an even bigger win against John Cena or The Undertaker or whoever, and then that leads to SummerSlam where he can, again, wrestle the likes of Brock Lesnar or whomever. I mean, if you really think about it, as far as world title challengers, Roman Reigns actually has a decent lineup in front of him. The problem is all these guys are stars from the present or the last era or a couple eras ago. Because you could realistically do Roman Reigns versus Sheamus one more time. Ugh. I can't see them holding that off up till Royal Rumble. I really can't. Maybe they'll do it on the official debut episode of SmackDown on USA. You could do Triple H versus Roman at Royal Rumble. You could do Cena versus Reigns at WrestleMania. You don't necessarily have to have Roman wrestle at Fastlane. You could do something in between SummerSlam with the likes of, Kevin Owens. Maybe Dean Ambrose turns heel. Maybe you get some steam on somebody else. Then, for the summer, particularly SummerSlam, you got Brock Lesnar. Maybe you want to do something with The Undertaker. Dare I say, and I think it's a complete long shot, but dare I say, maybe The Rock. So, if the stars line up and these older guys stay healthy, I mean, you could have a bunch of legends lined up for Roman Reigns to beat to put him over as the next top guy. But as far as underneath Roman Reigns, you got to freshen things up. You really do. And who's to say Roman Reigns is going to be healthy in 4 to 6 months, given WWE's luck with injuries? Who's to say that he's going to be over in 4 to 6 months? Who's to say that he's going to even be considered the real top guy with Lesnar coming back, with John Cena coming back? I mean, you never know. He might just get tepid reactions. The ratings might go down. And to be fair to him, it's not like he's the reason the ratings were going down. I mean, the ratings were going down when Cena was still on TV. It's just going to be interesting to see what happens. Going to be very interesting. But WWE, they have increasing TV rights fees. They got a ton of revenue streams. The network's doing fine. They really don't have a reason to change. Although, if the ratings continue to slide or continue to be piss poor, and this week the rating was down 13%, but still higher than the last few months, if it stabilizes, that's fine. But if it continues to go to the levels it was in November, then Who knows? Who knows what'll happen? But they definitely need some new stars. It's great that they're protecting Roman. It's great that they're finally pushing him like a badass, as he should be portrayed as. But they need to do that with more guys. Dean Ambrose, that's a step in the right direction. But they need some heels. They need to eventually take the authority off TV. If they want Triple H to wrestle Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, whatever, go ahead. But they need to do more than just have the title on the line and have Triple H lose. They need to have the authority be banished from TV forever. You could keep Triple H and Steph on NXT. You could have them make occasional appearances, doing like, guest spots on big shows like the Slammies. That's fine. But just, you need a real top heel at this point. Okay? You need a real top heel at this point. I mean, just think about it back in the day for anybody that's old enough to remember this. I mean, even when Vince McMahon was the top heel with Stone Cold and drawing money, which the authority really hasn't done with anybody. There were still guys like The Rock. There were still guys like The Undertaker. And who else? Triple H. Triple H, for God's sakes. Guys that were doing his dirty work that were the real top heels. So when The Rock has a babyface, or Steve Austin has a babyface, or Mick Foley has a babyface, beat those guys, it meant something. Because when you beat those top heels, you also beat the heel faction. You beat the authority figure. You beat Vince McMahon. You defeated him. Whereas in present WWE, the last couple of years, it's like, okay, you beat Seth Rollins. Okay, you beat Batista and Randy Orton, who are affiliated with the Authority, but the Authority just keeps coming back on TV every week and finding a new guy to antagonize the babyface. And that's just no fun. That's just no fun. I mean, I would imagine the next 4 months, we're probably going to get the Authority, but it would be really, really nice, and now that they have the guy that they want on top, to finally, in storyline, vanquish the Authority off TV and just put some real steam on some heels like Kevin Owens, and maybe call some guys up like Baron Corbin. Or, here's a novel concept. Maybe Finn Balor. Maybe Sami Zayn. Jesus Christmas. You might as well incorporate some of these NXT guys when you have SmackDown and USA. You got to separate it somehow from Raw, besides the color scheme. And it'd be nice if they did another set for SmackDown, but it doesn't look like they're doing that for now. Okay, and one more thing. The Wyatt family once again beat the Dudley Boys because those guys like the abuse. This time, they teamed up with the Ryback and Kane. And what do you know? It looks like Super Mario won the Battle Royal that we were simulating on WWE 2K16. Hey, you never know what's going to happen in the TSC News Arena. So, overall, SmackDown was okay, but if you missed everything but the main event, you really, really didn't miss much. You really didn't miss much. Okay, let's get to some questions here. Fred, are you going to be reviewing the Legends pack? You damn right I'm going to be reviewing the Legends pack. That's a given, of course. I will be doing that. What do you think about TNA going to Pop TV? I think at the moment it's irrelevant. I don't think they change much. It doesn't matter if TNA's in technically more homes. If people don't know about the channel, they're not going to watch. And TNA right now is really, I mean, you think Neville's sunk to the depths of hell or Stardust. Ugh. TNA has really sunk to the bottom. There's like no interest and no buzz whatsoever. I still watch on occasion because my buddy Jesse Goddard is a prominent star there, and I have a few friends there. But yeah, it's not the same, man. It's definitely not where it was at even just a couple years ago and during the dying days on Spike. So I wish them well. I hope they do all right. But there really is nothing that excites me about TNA thus far. Just my opinion. Hopefully they'll change it up. I mean, they are getting Mike Bennett and Maria from ROH. I have no idea why somebody from ROH would leave the opportunity to not only wrestle for ROH, but New Japan to go to TNA. But, maybe TNA got an influx of cash somehow. I don't know. I put it this way. In terms of creatively, because, financially, who the hell knows what's going to happen with TNA, I'm willing to give them one chance. That one chance is in a couple weeks when they officially debut with the brand new first run show in Pop TV. If it's something that hooks me, I'll stay watching. Maybe I'll start recapping it again. If it's the same old crap like it was the very first episode on Destination America earlier this year, it's probably going straight to DVR for me. All right, let's go here. Give Ryback a manager like Brock, turn him heel, and I could see him doing well. We've already seen Ryback as a heel. I mean, I guess he could do it again. He was pretty good. He was pretty good. He is kind of directionless right now, so why not? Cody Collier says, I think Reigns could be champ until Rollins returns. You know what? There you go. Seth Rollins is another guy returning. So you could have a year's worth of top guys lined up to take out Roman Reigns. Or to try to take out Roman Reigns, including a bunch of legends. And then Seth Rollins comes back and you could do that feud. That'd be fine. That'd be fine, but it all depends on whether Roman Reigns can stay healthy and if he can maintain the steam he has. Because right now he's getting a good reaction. I wouldn't say it's a breakthrough, tippity-top guy reaction right now. That could change after beating Triple H, after beating Brock Lesnar, after beating John Cena. Or it could kind of go the other way and make fans resent him. Which in that case, maybe he'll still stay the top guy, but they'll eventually turn him heel. We'll see. We'll see. Samuel Lay says that Pop TV used to be the TV Guide channel. TNA's getting that TV Guide money. Actually, it's rumored that TNA is actually paying to be on the network, and they're splitting the ad revenue. Whatever ad revenue you can get on Pop. No offense to Pop TV, but I really don't see them getting a whole lot of ad revenue on Pop TV. Unless they get some Fugazi energy drink to sponsor them or something. And even then. Brienne Kiver says, hello, Fred. Hello. Clifford Nelson says, hey, Fred. Hey. Almighty 96 says, I like turtles. Well, I like cats. But you are welcome here. Jeremy Bowers says they should put some holes in the eyepieces of the Sin Cara mask. They should just burn it. Just rechristen Unico as, I don't know. Make up a name or something. Call him Carl. Carl. If they kept SmackDown live every week, it would be great. I don't know if SmackDown was live tonight, but it was very close to live. And that didn't make it any better than it normally is. Could you see WWE 2K16 adding the NXT women? They said they wouldn't, which I find really stupid. And considering Sasha Banks got her face scanned, I really don't know why they couldn't. I still think ultimately, and I'm not accusing 2K of anything, but I still think ultimately they're going to come out with a DLC pack with the NXT women, and they're going to say, quote unquote, due to popular demand, here are the NXT women as DLC, and they're going to make a few bucks off of it. And they may or may not have already face scanned those women before. I don't understand why they couldn't just put the women in NXT or in the game. Why not? They put guys like Mikey Whipwreck in there and Colonel Mustafa. Savio Vega's even in the freaking game, but not Sasha Banks. Think about that. Think about that. Ugh. Yeah, I think ultimately they're gonna put them in the game. Seriously, it's a skin and a character model. I mean, come on, really? Throw these NXT fans a bone. I think they will. If come February and March, it's a different story. I'm going to be very shocked and appalled. Give us babyface Rollins versus heel Roman Reigns. I'm down with that. Brienne says, should I go to the WWE Chicago house show on Sunday? Yeah, why not? They're always fun. And I think John Cena should be back by then. Go for it, dude. Look, even when the product sucks, and there's been times where I really haven't liked the product at all the last couple of years, I'll tell you this, I almost always have fun at live events. So it'll be fun. Especially Chicago. It's a big market. Why not? Terry Allen Jr. asks me, will you purchase Uncharted 4 for the PS4? Most likely, yes. I'm sure I will. Hopefully, I'll have time to play it and review it. But that is on my list. That, and I'm trying to think if there's any other games right now upcoming that I really am looking forward to. I mean Uncharted 4, for sure. Off the top of my head, I have no idea when Kingdom Hearts is going to come out. But whenever Kingdom Hearts comes out, that I'm excited for. I'm interested in playing the new Final Fantasy VII. It's really not Final Fantasy VII because they're splitting it into multiple parts. It's essentially just a Final Fantasy game named Final Fantasy VII to make more money. Kind of a cash grab in my humble opinion, but it might be a good game. It might even be a great game. I'm interested in it. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with that. But right now I have a lot of games to play. I've Just Cause 3, which had a ton of glitches, including a 15-minute loading screen, which was absolutely preposterous. They did just update it with a patch, so perhaps that fixes the issue, but there were a lot of game-breaking glitches that I found when I bought that game, and hey, serves me right. I pre-ordered it. I probably should have waited a little bit, but I wanted to play the game and took that risk. There's Fallout I still have to play. I still got to play more Witcher 3 since they came out with the expansion. There's just a lot of games. And of course, WWE 2K16 since, a lot of our content is WWE. I guess from a sports standpoint, I'm really interested in seeing what's going to happen with EA UFC 2 with Conor McGregor and Ronda Rousey on the cover. I do hope that they improve it a little bit. They kind of speed up the game a little bit, improve the mechanics, make the faces less derpy, make the faces actually look like they belong on the body, kind of incorporate more storyline elements. I would definitely like to see some improvements from EA UFC 2. If it's just an updated roster and some slightly improved graphics, I'm going to be really, really disappointed. So that's what I'm looking forward to. But yes, Terry, I will probably, most likely, screw it. I'm sure definitely get Uncharted 4. Who do you see as the number one contender for the NXT Championship? I still think Samoa Joe should go for it. And if you have no interest in putting Samoa Joe on the main roster, which I think is absolutely stupid, you might as well give him the NXT title and have him be the touring champion. And I've said it too from the beginning, ever since they started making NXT super indie. When Cesaro comes back, if you're not going to do anything with Cesaro in the main event level, even though he's shown a ton of potential, why not just make him the NXT champion? He said publicly how much he enjoys wrestling in NXT. Make him the champion. Keep his salary. Keep his current main roster salary. Maybe you want to bonus him here and there, and have him be essentially the top brand of NXT, who can have great matches. He's a guy that caters to that hardcore wrestling fan base that NXT caters to. And he's a guy that could be very valuable at the Performance Center. Somebody that could teach guys how to work. And he's young enough where he can be a player coach. You don't have to retire him. He can stay active. But you know what? He can not only wrestle Samoa Joe. He can wrestle Baron Corbin. He can wrestle Big Cass. He can wrestle all these guys. Selfishly, I'll be disappointed not to see him on Raw and SmackDown and big pay-per-views. And it'd be nice to have him on there. But I'm just saying, if you want NXT to be a legit third brand, why not have Cesaro as the champion when he comes back? He's a big enough star. He'll put some spotlight on there. Another thing, too, if you're going to diversify SmackDown, do a talent exchange with NXT. You don't have to have a whole hour dedicated to NXT, but spread it out. Do a Baron Corbin squash match every week. Have a tag team match with Sami Zayn and Hideo Itami or something. Change it up a little bit. Even more Ronaldo, the new lead announcer of SmackDown, who got hired, who did the Floyd Mayweather fights, who did Pride, who did Strikeforce. I think he even said in an interview something along the lines of SmackDown's going to be kind of a hybrid between SmackDown, the current SmackDown, and NXT. So what better way to make it a hybrid of SmackDown and NXT by, incorporating elements and superstars of NXT. Of course, you should also pay these guys main roster money, as opposed to paying them, I don't want to say pennies, but chump change compared to certain guys. I could see Baron Corbin facing Balor for the title. I'm fine with that too. Baron Corbin's gotten a hell of a lot better over the last year. I can't believe Ava Marie is in the game. I can. She's got 2 million Instagram followers. She's pretty popular, oddly enough. I guess that's what you get when you're a hot chick with red hair. Okay. Do you see League of Nations lasting any longer? Probably for the next month or two. I can't see it lasting any longer than that. Perhaps. Actually, you know what? I could see the current version lasting minus Del Rio for a while. Because you know what? They really have nothing for Sheamus. They really have nothing for Rusev and Wade Barrett. Those guys work well together. They're pretty entertaining. So why not? And okay, we'll take a couple more questions and then get the heck on out of here. Fred, who do you see headlining WrestleMania besides the champion Roman Reigns? Well, if he's the champion. As far as other top matches, I guess the usual suspects, Undertaker, Brock Lesnar. I guess you got to elevate some guys. So I would say Bray Wyatt and Kevin Owens are probably going to be in pretty prominent positions. You can never count out John Cena. I don't really know what they're going to do with Kevin Owens though. Maybe they'll do Bray Wyatt, the legendary jobber to the stars, against Brock Lesnar, so he could go 0-3 at WrestleMania. Maybe they'll do something with Kevin Owens and in the IC title. Who knows? I think it's way too early to tell. Reigns versus Cena seems like a good direction to go in, but again, it is all contingent on what the hell they want to do with Triple H and Roman Reigns, whether they want to pull the trigger for Royal Rumble, Fastlane, which I'd find quite bizarre, or WrestleMania. All right, let's see here. Will Baron Corbin be bald before 2016? No, but I think he will be bald by the end of 2016. So I guess that technically answers your question, right? Yeah, by 2016, 2016's in about a week and a half. By the end of 2016, sure, I could see him, balding a little bit. If I were him, well, I don't know if he could afford it. Triple H should get Baron Corbin a Christmas present. Find him Wes Welker's doctor. Get him a nice hair transplant. Boom, good as gold. If not, just shave the head, or screw it. Just grow the skullet. Rock the Hulk Hogan, Jake Roberts hairstyle. Why not? Just be a scary, tattooed man that kicks the crap out of people with a skullet. Man. All right. Well, folks, I'm going to get on out of here. I hope you enjoyed this recap of WWE Super SmackDown for December 22nd, 2015. If you enjoyed this post, please feel free to click the like button. Share this with all your friends. Leave your feedback below. You can also download this and all our other shows on soundcloud.com/TSC News if you want to subscribe to us there. And you could also subscribe on iTunes, and we'd greatly appreciate it if you guys would leave a review. As far as watching our videos on the go, you can not only do it through the YouTube app, but if you'd like, you could sign up for YouTube Red, which you get a free month, and then it's $9.99 a month after that. It's a service I have. Really good. Not only can you watch videos like this one right here ad-free, but you can even download the videos on the go and watch them. Maybe you have a long flight, long commute. You don't really want to use your data. You want to take me with you, and hey, who wouldn't want to take Fred around with them, right? Well, or actually, I don't think a lot of people would want to take me with them, but whatever. Okay, maybe you want to take some of our interviews with us because we have a ton of interviews to the likes of Mick Foley, Booker T, Diamond Dallas Page, Gail Kim, you name it, we got it. Video game reviews, sports updates. You better believe we're going to be keeping a keen eye on those NFL playoffs, but it's hard out here for a Giants fan. That's all I got to say. But folks, until next time, I'm going to go play some WWE 2K16. As always, woo! Enjoy the matches.